Hello and welcome to another episode of my podcast, Insights from Solitude. My name is Anne Westwards, and I'm sharing my learnings from you that I gained in the year and a half that I spent cycling solo through Asia and the Middle East along the ancient Silk roads. Today's topic is about letting go. I want to start with a quote saying, "The most intense fight you'll ever have is between the person that you are and the person that you're capable of becoming." I really like that quote, but I would like to change the wording of it. I don't think it has to be a fight. It can be more a letting go of the person you were yesterday in order to become the person you could be tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So normally I first explain the mental concept to you and then I get to an episode from my cycling expedition. And today I would like to reverse that in order to make clear what I mean with what it means to let go. So on my cycling expedition, I have a tendency to get up very high mountain ranges pretty late in the year when snow is already on the horizon. Or, I've got a penchant to get out into deserts and steppes where water tends to be a rare thing. And I'm well aware that I am taking risks. But there's a very deep inner urge that I have to follow. I guess you could call it a spiritual calling, but in the end, it's really just me enjoying the solitude out there and the deep inner peace that comes. But don't get me wrong, I am aware of the risks I'm taking and I am afraid. Very much so, actually. Because there are things that you can be afraid of, be it wolves, the cold. At times when I knew that I would face nights at minus 25 degrees Celsius in a tent. Or the worst enemy of all, thirst, and there's the risk that you may run out of water because you miscalculated or because you have an accident. So before I get out into situations like this, I take my time. Why? It's about mental preparation, I guess. It's about gathering the courage. But it's also about letting go of the person I was before I cycled out there. Because that person is not going to be capable. I have this very deep feeling that those are turning points, those are caesuras and this is a chance actually. Those turning points where you know this is a new chapter. And it can be something as simple as a bike trip, but it can also be a crisis as we are facing at the moment. These are natural turning points where this is a chance to not fight the person you are today or you were yesterday, but just to look at what do I have with me? What baggage? Do I really want to take this baggage out into the desert? Up these mountain ranges. So for me, it's a kind of dying. It's letting the person that you were die in the process. And just see it's like this analogy of the phoenix rising from the ashes. Just letting go the concept of who you were before. And then just seeing what rises from the ashes. And believe me, so far, always something has risen from the ashes. You're not going to be left with no person to be. You are going to be a new self. And this takes time. It's nothing. Sometimes I start doubting my own sanity because it does take time and I won't be able to tell you when I'm ready. So this can take up to a week for me. Just getting ready to leave. And sometimes I compensate and find excuses for myself. So, for example, getting up into the Pamirs or into the Himalayas, I would browse the bazaars, get some more supplies. An extra handful of nuts has never hurt, and it hasn't. Maybe get an extra sweater because I'm afraid of the cold. And I've done all these things, and then at some point you face yourself in the mirror and you acknowledge to yourself, this is not about the physical preparation anymore. This is about getting mentally ready. And the first time I got out up onto mountains in the Pamirs, in Tajikistan, in Kyrgyzstan, getting into Tajikistan, it took me a while to acknowledge that to myself, that I need time to get mentally ready. And no one is going to be able to tell you how long it's going to take. You know it. Now, right now, we've been thrown into this new situation that we all have to handle. And nobody told us a week ahead of time, oh, a change is coming, please get ready. But I still think that it's a similar process that's happening. In the sense, there's a new situation, the old securities, the old beliefs maybe, they've all been shaken in some way, shape or form. And now we are heading into a new land, so to speak. We're heading up into high mountain ranges, into the desert, you name it. And it doesn't have to be threatening, even though many people right now perceive the situation as threatening. But it is a new reality. It is a changed reality from what it was before. And I think there's a very huge potential for transformation for our societies, but also for us personally. And I would always advise to start with yourself, because this is the person that you can actually, to a certain degree, you can control. And we can always think about society later on. But just acknowledge or see this as a chance of letting go of old baggage and actually actively decide, what do I want to take with me? Which character traits do I want to hone? Which routines would I like to establish? How do I want to treat others? How do I want to approach others at these times? And we all know, once we repeat things for a certain amount of times, we can actually grow habits. So it's not that far-fetched, I would say. Yeah, so I've always returned each time I set out. At the time I returned to civilization, or maybe rather, by the time that I returned to human habitation, I've always been an altered person. I wouldn't say I was a better person per se, but it was a process of shedding weight and baggage beforehand. And this is a wonderful chance. This is a kind of, I'm tempted to say rebirth, because that's the first image that came to my mind, just thinking of the phoenix. But really just stripping yourself bare and then consciously decide which are the things that I actually want to take with me. So I hope this has inspired you to think about the current situation a little bit differently, maybe seeing it more as a chance than a threat. And yeah, as always, I'm looking forward to your comments, your thoughts about becoming and letting go. And as always, if you like the content, you're most welcome to subscribe to the channel to get updates. And I'll make sure that I work on the next episode. See See you again soon. Bye.